Now, are we recording now?
Oh, we've been recording the whole time. With all the problems I had
All
last
right.
week, I started recording a half hour ago. Thank you for listening to RGCWV, Random Geek Culture in West Virginia. Tonight, we're reflecting on Season 1. We're going to go over some random topics. We're going to talk about what we liked, what we didn't like about the season. We're also going to be talking about some of the format changes for our podcast. Some new segments that we're going to be having. I'm even going to go over Mike and Jason's new podcast. You remember them from the show. They have started a new podcast called West by Pod that is not affiliated to the one that goes over Mountaineer sports. This is just a podcast about West Virginia. Tonight, we were going to be joined with Mike and Jason, but Mike, his longtime companion, Cat, Wally, they had to put him down tonight, so he's consoling his family tonight. But of all my friends that I can depend on, it is Mr. Alex McLean. Alex, say hi to everybody.
I'm not often described as being dependable, but, well, I'm here today.
So, Alex, how you doing tonight?
Pretty alright. Pretty alright.
It's pretty alright. um,
You know I don't do that on purpose. Just how I talk, man.
You do it sometimes, though. It's really
Yeah,
funny when you
yeah.
do it. Let's like that one time that I was trying to get you to give a good review for Sabriel, the audiobook narrated by Tim Curry. And you say to, I'm like, will you tell Kurt that this is a good series? And you're like, it's pretty alright.
Oh, that's your impression of me.
Yeah, that's my impression of it.
That's a good review. That's that's when I pretty alright means generally recommended.
Generally recommended. So, Geek Outs. I tell you what, I at church the other day, I was talking with a couple of my friends, and we were geeking out hard about the British comedy show IT Crowd. We were going on for like a half hour just talking about our favorite moments of that show. Have you watched that, Alex?
Oh, I've seen the IT crowd.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And for the longest time before I was watching The Big Bang Theory, which I like that too, but I had only watched like a first couple episodes and I didn't like it. I was just I was more into IT Crowd because it more spoke to me as an IT geek. Like some of the things that they deal with is just speaks to me on a base level. And I love the show, and I love British comedies. I used to love watching Monty Python's The Flying Circus and Mr. Bean and that one that in the retail store. I forget what the name of that was. Do you remember?
I'm afraid not.
Do you know which one I'm talking about though?
No, and you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me if you don't already, and you should.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. And you should.
that I kind of don't like British comedy. The IT crowd being one of
Oh,
few exceptions, but
oh. What about Mr. Bean?
um,
You can say no. You can be wrong. You're allowed to be wrong.
yeah. I mean, last time I was here, I told you guys you were wrong. I kind of don't like Monty Python. I've
Oh,
seen I've seen The Life of Brian and I've seen The Holy Grail, and
who hasn't
I'm
seen the
told
Holy
I'm
Grail?
I'm told those are the best of the genre, and I don't know. It's just not what I think is funny.
Hmm. All right, that's fine. That's fine. But anyway, if you guys have not seen that show, watch it. It's hilarious. It's one of the more tame British comedies. It's not riddled with British comedyisms like the other ones. It's a little bit more relatable.
And then I call the exception that yeah, I do like the IT crowd, and it really does. If you work in IT, you've been there.
Yeah.
You've been there. The manager that wants things that simply don't exist, and the users that, oh boy, you
Yeah,
know.
it's not even just that. It also makes fun of the IT geeks too. My favorite one was when Moss is fixing a computer, and the girl there, she's like, in that moment, really smitten for him, and she's like, "You're cute. I really like your glasses," and he's like, "They're not for sale." And she laughs and she goes, "You're funny." And he goes, "Laugh all you want. They're still not for sale."
Yeah, yeah. Just how. Yeah, I know the feeling, man.
So what are you geeking out about right now?
What am I geeking out about right now? So earlier today, Luke sent me a link to this SNES ROM that I need to find out the history behind it to see if this is recent. It's called The Legend of Zelda: The Ancient Stone Tablets, and it's a game that originally ran over a Nintendo online service called Satellaview on the SNES back in those days, and the game was largely thought to be lost to time and space. Something that if you didn't experience it when it came out, it's gone. It's just gone forever, and there was no way to play this again. But it is a modification of Zelda Link to the Past, and there is a ROM out for this that you can play now. So I haven't got a chance to play it yet, but I'm real excited about it because it's a lost Zelda game.
It had, okay, so just like satellite TV back in the day, network would broadcast all of the episodes of that show for the season all at once down to its outline network headquarters. So then they could download all of them and then broadcast them out. Well, this essentially worked the same way, except it was not to the TV station, it was beaming you games directly to the customer. You had to be a subscriber, and you had to have a Super Nintendo, and you also had to have a Super Nintendo mod that was official from Nintendo that you attached to your Super Nintendo. You also had to be a subscriber, and you could receive games from Nintendo, but you could only play them within the window that they were allowing you to play. So, for instance, this Legend of Zelda game, you would only be able to play it within a 4 hour window. I think it was like a few times a week. And each section was an episode, and you could play through the dungeons and then wait a week, and then you'd be able to play through another bunch of dungeons until you could eventually finish the game. The only thing was, this was quickly abandoned by Nintendo, and they only had two run throughs. Now, the back end of how this worked was they would beam down the game to you from the satellite, and it would download to your hard drive. But it was coded to only work certain times of the day when the window was open. What these modders did was, through talking to all kinds of different people, all the years, they found all of the episodes downloaded to these systems that they couldn't play. So the modding community got all of those ROMs together, recompiled all of it so that it's one single playthrough, all into one nice little pretty mod. And I played it today, and it's actually really good. It's a cool little mix to Link to the Past. It's definitely a different game. You're not even Link in this game. You're actually a random kid that was chosen as the hero of light because Link was unavailable. I guess he was at the coffee shop or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. So, but and it's interesting how some of these things are laid out. Some of these things work. The first dungeon is still in this location of the first dungeon, but then you're quickly sent up to Zora's domain and get the flippers, and then after you get out, the place where the fairy that lives underneath the waterfall, that it's actually a dungeon now. So it's I'm glad I didn't find out about this 6 months ago when they first packaged it up together, because they've done a lot of hot fixes to it. So it works really good now.
And this sort of thing is Nintendo has a way of being way before their time with a lot of stuff like
Yeah.
this. That
Sometimes
that
it
sort
works
of
out for
thing.
them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But that sort of thing is somewhat common now. There's a lot of games on PSN and on the Xbox Live Arcade that are live events. I've played some of them with friends that they have a live host that comes over voice, and they host like a game show. I've played oh, what's that game show with all the suitcases where you
Oh,
pick
Deal or No Deal
Deal or No Deal.
with
Like, yeah,
Mr. Howie Mandel.
yeah, and they have, it's not Howie Mandel, but it's some
Oh,
other
it's not
guy that he
anymore.
well, no, on this game on
Oh,
PSN that
okay,
I've
gotcha.
played before, but it's like you're playing Deal or No Deal with a live host that you choose the thing, and then he comes on and tells you whether you got a deal or not. And it's everybody's hearing the same thing, but Nintendo was doing that back in the days of SNES,
Yeah,
live broadcasts.
yeah, and it's just it's mind-boggling what they come up with and what actually works. The
Oh
problem
yeah.
is people weren't ready to use it. Not only that, but this device, buying all of the pieces to go with the already purchased Super Nintendo, was like an extra $200.
And that's in like 1991 money,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that's like 500 now or more.
Yeah.
So
So that's a bit of a diversion, but that's what I'm geeking out about. And thanks for sending that to me. I fully tomorrow, maybe tonight.
what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, and I think I'm gonna mod my Super Nintendo Classic and put this
Hmm.
on there, so then I can play it on a Super Nintendo.
I've played a few other ROM hacks that are really really interesting. There's one for the original Metroid called Zero Dawn,
Oh, I love
and
Zero
it
Dawn. It's so
you've
good.
played Zero Dawn? Okay, you've
Yes.
played Zero Dawn, and I mean it's they're doing stuff that, from what I understand, it would, and they do make a cartridge for it. It will play on an actual NES. I mean, it's really pushing the limits of what the system's capable of, and it does play better on emulator. But man, oh man, it's a great game. It's
Speaking,
like, for if you don't know what the game is, it's kind of like a prequel to Metroid Zero Mission.
yeah,
You're playing as
Summers.
it, no, you're playing as Dawn Aaron, Samus's mother, isn't it?
Oh, I think you're
Yeah,
right. I think you're
yeah,
right.
and yeah, this is before Samus is even in it, and without the Metroid suit or none of that stuff, it's really neat. We might can we post a link to that in our comments or something
I can put that in the description,
to
and
to look it up or something?
yeah,
Because yeah,
Yeah, especially on the Facebook page. I can definitely put that link to that. I can also put the link to the ROM for we were just talking about
Zelda Ancient
for the
Stone
Zelda,
Tablets.
stone
Mm-hmm.
tablets. Yeah, the ancient
Zelda.
stone tablets. And then also there is a since we're talking about ROMs that are fan made or whatever. Have you played the Final Fantasy VII Make?
No, no, but I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about. It's
it's
like an SNES style Final Fantasy.
no, it's Nintendo. It's
Oh, okay.
NES.
NES style. Okay, okay.
It's crazy. And it plays like Final Fantasy 2 or 3. Probably 2. Probably 2. When it was
Sounds cool.
just barely better than 1. But the whole story is there. I mean, I haven't played the whole story. It's a gimmick. I mean, it's cool,
I
but
get that.
apparently the whole story's there. So,
Awesome. Yeah, NES custom ROMs. There's a lot of neat. There's a lot of garbage. There really is a lot of garbage out there, but there's a lot of neat stuff.
yeah. So, um I've got some other stuff to talk about tonight. I do want to talk about. Okay, so this is going to be. I'm really upset about this. So, the podcast that compelled me to start this one just had its last episode after almost 300 episodes. It's it was called the Super Best Friends Cast, and it was really good. They talked about, well, it was pretty vulgar language, but beside that, it talked about movies, it talked about TV shows. These guys were competitive gamers as far as like the fighting game scene, and they had a huge following. Two of the guys, two of the best friends, are no longer friends anymore. So they stopped their show. I can understand why they stopped, but it's really disappointing. They're all gonna do their own separate solo things now, but I'm upset about it.
It's sad to hear something like that happens over personal drama.
Yeah,
That people aren't friends anymore and stuff. I've kind of went through that with some of the things I follow. I watch a YouTube series called The Completionist
oh,
with
I love the
Gerard Khalil.
completionist.
Okay, so yeah, okay, you watch and I guess he had a falling out with his co-host. I mean, it's been like more than a year ago, but it was really. He doesn't talk about it much, but it really sounds like the guy was pretty mean to him. That he can't run any of the content that they created together, like as the result of a lawsuit.
Wow,
Yeah, so I mean, he sued his best friend over this stuff, and
that is also upsetting.
but Gerard, the guy that still hosts it, is really he doesn't drum up a bunch of drama over it. He very rarely. I mean, he made one video just explaining what the changes were going to be,
Hmm.
and I feel like a lesser person would have made a big drama train. You know how people do,
Yeah,
and he would have made a big fuss about it. He doesn't speak about it despite being asked to. Like people want drama, people want to see that, and even if that would get him viewership, he doesn't go that route.
well, that's good of him. That's good on
Hmm.
him. And they did the Super Best Friends. They spliced together an actual video. They weren't all in the same room. All just saying, sorry this has happened. You guys have been really good, and that we're all going our separate ways. And thanks for being so awesome.
I mean, I can fully understand a person just not wanting to do something anymore.
Yeah.
sometimes the things you enjoy most just don't last forever.
Yeah. So, anyway,
But this is
um,
different.
this is probably a good time to hear a message from our sponsors. And we're back. So, Alex, did you watch the Avengers trailer?
You're gonna hate me, but no,
Well, go
I'm
watch it
afraid
right now!
not.
Go watch it right
Okay,
now! Go watch it right now!
okay. YouTube.com.
YouTube.
Avengers trailer.
You know what? I should watch it too. I should
I mean,
watch it
heck,
too.
Doctor Strange has already seen this.
It's pretty good. You're not wrong.
Okay. I'll let me skim through it for the purposes
No, no, no,
of
no,
the
no, 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 no.
podcast.
Watch the whole. Experience it.
Experience.
It's only like a minute long.
I'm skipping 2 minutes and 45 seconds. It looks like Tony Stark is on a spaceship fixing up his
You
Iron
gotta watch
Man's.
the whole thing.
Okay.
Avengers. Let's talk about Avengers.
And the Avengers trailer. So I just watched the Avengers trailer.
That was
I
official.
mean,
We officially know
yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's not unexpected. There's nothing mind blowing there. Yeah, at the end of Infinity War, they're in the middle of space. You know,
Yeah.
they're not really out of the woods yet. They got to get back to Earth somehow.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised that Nebula didn't, give Tony a ride, but I mean, she wasn't entirely a good person, so
Maybe she's like that.
yeah. But okay, there is one thing that I have to say about this trailer. Thank you very much, Marvel, for giving us this. Don't give us any more.
I get what you mean about trailer burnout.
Yeah.
That there's just too much build up, too much anticipation, and by the time the movie comes out, people are tired of being excited about it.
Yeah.
That's a terrible feeling to have.
Yeah.
Tired of being excited about superhero movies.
And you know what? They showed us a lot from Avengers, but there was a lot of misdirection, which I appreciate. It got me excited for the movie, but it didn't spoil anything. And I liked that. I liked it a
Correct.
lot. They do need to do a lot of trailers for Captain Marvel. The general population doesn't know anything about Captain Marvel. So Disney needs to make those trailers. But everybody's gonna go see Avengers. Everybody. There's no need for them to do any more trailers other than what we just saw. All it's gonna do is hurt the situation, not help it.
So I mean, that's a teaser. There will be a full trailer,
And
but I think after that, no,
yeah,
just make the damn movie.
I would like it if they showed the trailer as trailers used to be after Captain Marvel. At the
Um,
end, that would be the after credits scene, the trailer for Avengers.
that would be a real. I mean, yeah, that's what the term trailer means.
Yeah,
Trailing the movie.
yeah.
But that would be a real departure from the way anything works in cinema today, and I think it would be a real mind blower
Well,
to
I
modern audiences.
there was one thing that I really appreciated from the first Lord of the Rings Fellowship. At the end of that, they had the trailer for the Two Towers. I loved that. Loved it. And after Venom, they had a trailer and mini scene from Into the Spider Verse. And
Mm-hmm.
it got me more excited. I was already excited about Into the Spider Verse. I'm now more excited because of that. So I would like to see more studios do that,
Did you?
especially if it's part of a serial. I mean, in
Yeah.
in Dragon
If
Ball, In Dragon Ball, it says, "Hey, in the next episode."
It's if you're here seeing this movie, chances are you are interested in other movies of the same.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about taking away the previews at the beginning of the movie. Those are other movies that are not within the same universe or whatever. But putting the Avengers trailer only at the end of Captain Marvel makes a heck of a lot of sense.
It'd be real exciting.
It would. It really would.
It's
Now,
But I
Disney.
actually never saw Lord of the Rings in the theater. No.
Oh, I saw Fellowship 5 times in
Oh
the
my
theater.
god.
No, no, super big geek.
It's those came out when I was in high school and I didn't really have the chance to go to movies.
Well, that's because you grew up in Beelington. There is no
Yeah.
movies within like 150 miles from you guys.
No, come on, man. It's not that. Get out of here. Billington's not... we go to the movie theater in Elkins. It's 20 minutes away. 15.
Beelington is close to Elkins?
Are you even from West Virginia, Luke?
I mean, I know where these places are, kind of. So that means, yeah, okay. So 20 minutes north of Elkins?
Are you even from West Virginia,
Shut
Luke?
up, shut 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 up. All right.
The big city of Billington.
Yeah. So, anyway, we've gotten past that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh, okay. So, I did want to mention Mike and Jason's new podcast that they started. It's called West by Pod, and it's pretty good. What they're talking about is just West Virginia. They're talking about different places. Like they did a whole episode talking about the asylum and going over stuff like that, and essentially geeking out about different locations in West Virginia. And it's very interesting. If you are at all interested in listening to more about our great state, because we are almost heaven, check them out. It's pretty good.
Now,
Uh,
the asylum, you mean the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum?
yes.
So many, I know other people who are, it really is something to geek out about. I'm not into it, but people who are into that are crazy. And I mean, if any place could be haunted, that would be a place that probably would be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of ghost hunter shows have done stuff there. It's like the it's like the stop in this on the East Coast. So anyway, this is gonna finish out season 1 for RGCWV. On our 12th episode, 13th if you're really counting all of them. Um, I, for one, have enjoyed doing this first season, and I plan on doing another season. I'm going to start in the middle of January. We're going to change up the format a little bit. I've been trying to do these every week, but that's been a little cumbersome. Not only that, but when we took our November break, I was looking at the analytics for the next episode right after our break, and it was our biggest day ever. We had more people listening than any day before and any day since. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to every other week. Essentially, 2 episodes a month, sometimes more, depending on whatever. But this will let us have more guests, more interesting guests on the show. I've already got a few lined up. I did talk with the FMs, and they are confirmed for next season. We're also going to do a episode about Disney and the little known things about Disney, the company, not necessarily Disney World. We're also going to add some new segments. One is confirmed that we're going to have my buddy Josh, who's a huge gadget geek. We're talking about creating a new segment for him called Josh's Gadget Gallery. He does pod racing, or not pod racing. um,
Yes.
he does pod race. No, he does POV drone racing. He does 3D printing. He does actual like VR games and stuff. So he's a pretty interesting guy. It'll be good to have him on the show. Just a little bit about him. So this last Halloween, he decided to do something a little interesting. He 3D printed his own head.
Okay.
And then he had his wife, she's a very good artist. He had his wife paint his head. Okay? He made it so that it's a case for his drone. So, on Halloween, he had his own severed head circling the house.
That's amazing.
He's got a little YouTube video about it and everything. It's so good. It's really funny. So, great guy. Great guy. He's been a friend for a long time. So, that's what we have to look forward to next season. We're coming up to Christmas next week. Alex, what are you planning on doing for Christmas?
I'm going to see my dad
Yeah?
on, I believe, Sunday. I'm going in, and oh, we always go to my grandparents' house
Mm-hmm.
to be with family, and oh, it's always nice to see family.
It is nice. So, we are going to go up to Delaware. Cassie's parents live up there. And we're going to have our normal Christmas with them. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Delaware's an interesting state. You know, my argument with Delaware all the time, every state seems to have a personality. It's, either Pennsylvania, where you've got long stretches of highway, you've got West Virginia with its long rolling hills. You've got Maryland, where it has, the United States government, but Delaware just doesn't seem to have any personality at all, like at all.
That's disappointing.
But the things that it does right. I mean, they have the downs, the Dover Downs, the NASCAR track. They've got really nice beaches. They've got good outlet shopping malls and stuff. Just it's weird.
No, no, the idea about different states having different personalities and West Virginia being unique in it. This is a podcast about West Virginia, so
Yeah.
it's
Okay. So I'm gonna finish out this right before the final end. I'm gonna put in this segment, geek trivia, and I know you're gonna deliver, Alex.
oh boy,
I
I
know
am.
it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Okay, Alex. Who was the captain of the Starship Enterprise in the pilot episode?
Captain Christopher Pike. Yep.
Alex. Alex. I said you were going to deliver. I said you were going
Which
to.
he reappeared in an episode later on, which that's he was the pilot, or he was the captain in the pilot episode,
Mhm.
but he later appeared in that weird like wheelchair machine with his face all burnt up.
Mhm.
Um, I don't recall the title of the episode, but yes, he was the captain of the ship before Captain Kirk was.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, I think we are going to finish out for tonight and for this season. This has been a great season. I think we did. I like how it turned out. In fact, it's better than I had assumed. We're getting about 50 people listening per episode right now. We're sitting at almost 750 listens for the entire show so far, and people seem to like it. I've talked to a couple families that like it, like the Divines. Hi, Divines. How are you guys doing? And and of course, some people from work. Hi, Mark. How you doing? And um, I hope to bring much more good content next season, even better than this one. So, anyway, if you guys want to reach out to me, you can email me at randomwvgeek@gmail.com. That's randomwvgeek@gmail.com. Or you can call me and leave a message at 304 566 9777. Again, that's 304 566 9777. Welcome to the end of the
Well,
season.
welcome to the end of the season.